God, I'm so close. I don't want people to see me that close. Oh my gosh. Hi, everybody.
Oh, hello, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode.
Are we rolling for real?
Yes, we are. We're rolling for real. Another exciting episode of Staying Up with Pat and Jodi. And Jodi's like completely off because not only are we doing, and by the way, the camera's crooked, but who cares? Not this camera up here, not the one that you're watching on YouTube, but the camera that you're watching.
Two people are watching us.
Two people are watching us on
I can't see who they
Facebook
are.
Live. I have no idea.
One person. We just lost somebody.
We just lost a person. They said, screw those people.
Who are these people? Why is she wearing those glasses?
But if you could see, if you're watching on YouTube right now,
yes,
you can see Jodi's phone right over here. If you're listening on SoundCloud, you have no idea. You're like, what are they talking about? So here's the thing. If you're watching on YouTube, you could see Jodi's phone sitting right there because we are doing a little experiment and we are going live on Facebook Live. Jodi's flexing her arms on Facebook Live. So we just wanted to do part of the show here live. I'm
losing myself.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like a I don't know, like I'm just like I don't know.
She's trying to perform over here. Now that she's live, she's trying to perform. I have no idea what you're doing.
No, I'm like a dysfunctional person because I'm
like a dysfunctional person.
I'm like looking at myself on the phone,
She's like a little kid that's seen a phone for the first.
KC would hate my guts right now. He bitches about my bathroom selfies. Wait till he sees this.
Oh my goodness.
He'll be like, oh, I'm narcissistic.
Yes.
That's me. Narcissistic.
She's something.
Anyway, no, I am not narcissistic, but I am confused because, Pat, it's been a rough week. Hi, everybody. Oh, look, to people. Carol Grill. I love you, Carol Grill. Love you. Malibu's here. Malibu is in the room. Malibu, remember Carol? Oh my God, you live? Yes. Now Eric's sending text messages. Anyway, okay, let me get back because I am like refocusing here because it's hard to see. I see Manny Vega. Manny, what's up, baby? I miss you, Manny Vega.
Okay. He said very distorted sound. Hopefully that fixed it. I just sent the send down.
Manny.
So yeah, because we can't tell what it sounds like on the other side.
Manny
because
is an awesome
unlike
DJ.
a real show that has staff, we don't have somebody running confidence. Doing confidence
today,
on the other side, saying, "Oh, we need to bring the no." There's no confidence. There's nobody watching for quality assurance.
Freddie's on here.
So yeah, but this is kind of fun.
BBH.
We're doing a little bit of a test here.
We're trying it out.
We're trying to see how this works by doing a little bit of the show on Facebook Live. We may try it even on YouTube Live at some point, and who else knows what else live.
Eric Roberts.
Eric Roberts is.
I'm dying. I'm digging the
spectacles.
Thank you.
As you can tell, she has the spectacles on and she can't read.
Dude,
she's trying to read the phone. Yeah, she's not real glasses. So if you see her squinting, she's trying to read the comments on Facebook Live.
Hi, Jodi and Pat. Malibu said
the sound is breaking up. Okay, we'll have to work on that, but bear
with us.
It sounds great on this end. I'll just tell you that much.
All right.
You'll have to use my phone because my phone sounded fantastic.
Okay,
so you have an iPhone and it sucks, but what can we do?
Bite me.
Thank you.
All right. Anyway, okay, so let me explain a few things because I started out. The reason why I'm wearing the glasses, why not? Okay, just why not? It's my world. I live in it, and I'm wearing the glasses. I actually spent the last few hours, putting together music for this wedding I have tomorrow. And Eric Roberts, not the famous actor, but the infamous Sight and Sound DJ Eric Roberts, who looks just like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
He does look like Stone Cold Steve Austin. He does.
He definitely looks like Stone Cold.
In fact, I don't know why we haven't thought of this before, but we book all these impersonators. What is the correct term for it? Tribute artists.
Tribute artists.
Why aren't we booking Eric as a Stone Cold tribute artist? Why isn't he going out there?
I agree.
And sending him out there, and because maybe he has some kid parties he can go to and say he's going to lay the
lay the smackdown on them. I think that's I think that's great. I think he should. Have you ever? I don't know if you've ever noticed. Pat, have you ever noticed that when Eric calls me on my cell phone, that all my friends, by the way, when you call me on my cell phone, you guys have an image associated with your phone. So Malibu, you don't want to know what I picked, but the year was 1986. 6.
Wow.
Just saying. Anyway, it was Malibu. We were in Marina Del Rey. You'll have to see the photo. But anyway, Eric, when he calls, there is a picture of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
There
a
is.
headshot.
There actually is.
At one time, I was in a store and the phone rang and I had my phone down at the cashier and Stone Cold's picture came up and the dude at the cash register was like so freaking excited. He's like, "You know Stone Cold?" I'm like, "You know who I am." You know. Well, anyway.
Oh, wait, I forgot to turn the lights on back here. Look, I have the fancy lights. I just noticed that. I looked in the back and we don't have our lights on.
So anyway, I spent the last few hours just like
Putting together cumbias.
Hours worth of Spanish music.
150 cumbias.
Oh my God. I am going to be so Latina tomorrow that Jennifer Lopez and Selena's going to be rolling in her grave tomorrow because I am going to be more.
Well, you're going to be playing half of her library tomorrow.
I am so hoping that there's a good looking hot Spanish guy because you know I like.
That's right. And I won't be there. So you can't have me there.
So I'm hoping, I'm taking the glasses off. I'm hoping that there is a really good looking hot Spanish man to dance with me. That's all. Pat, you seeing messages? What's it saying?
It's just that somebody joined.
No, Will.
Oh, it's
Parker?
hers sounds fine. Your mic is hot. Oh, good. Thank you. So I can actually see it on my little board. Right down here, you can see there's a little tablet, kind of. And that's how I'm controlling the sound because everything is...
So anyway, boys and girls,
so
tomorrow I am emceeing and DJing this great wedding. The couple is from Texas, and I'm really looking forward. So I spent the last few hours listening to so much cumbia that Pat tonight has to take me out for some Mexican food.
Mexican food.
Just saying. You're going to have to take me out. But welcome to some of our newbies. There's a lot of new people. I see Liz. Oh, my God, Liz. Liz and I go back to, like... Not even junior high school, elementary school. Pat, your favorite school?
Elementary school.
PS?
PS 13?
No, PS 17.
Oh, I keep forgetting.
PS 17.
PS 17.
Yes, but I knew Liz. Liz and I have known each other for years. Liz is beautiful. She's this blonde, gorgeous. Pat, you got to see her. She used to look like, and she still does. You still look like Elizabeth Montgomery. You know, Bewitched. That's who she looked like.
Awesome.
And she still does. I seen her today. The girl doesn't age.
That's awesome.
All of us age except for Liz. Liz does not get old.
So find out what she's taking, or maybe
I need to go when I go to Yonkers.
Maybe we could take a blood sample and just pull some genetic code out of there. And just, there's a way to do that stuff now, right?
Exactly. There is. So anyway, Pat, a few things. So anyway, enough about that stuff. But I went to Michael's today, and I am just addicted to journals. I don't know why. I have so many. Alicia, my assistant, will tell you that I have so many notebooks. You have to see the latest one I got today, okay?
Oh,
this
boy.
one says, "Kill them with kindness."
Kill them with kindness.
I kind of need that.
Unfortunately, here's the problem. Like, if you look at this now, this is what's funny. If you're watching on YouTube, here, put this up.
Oh, okay.
If people who are going to watch this on YouTube, "Kill me with kindness" looks correct. If you're watching on Facebook Live, it looks like you're looking at it in the mirror of your car because it's the selfie mirror. And I don't understand why they do this with these reverse cameras. So, yes, that is backwards for some reason. And here's the strange part. I am on the correct side. I don't know why they do it. It's weird. It's
weird.
Very weird.
Anyway,
but that says "kill them with kindness."
How many people are you guys addicted to these journals? Oh my gosh.
Why are you addicted to journals?
I don't know. And then this one is for my trip to Dallas, Texas in a few weeks. Lamar is probably watching. Lamar, it says, "Do something remarkable." There we go. Do something remarkable. So I'm actually heading out to Texas in 17 days.
17 days.
So one of the things I want to do later on after staying up with Pat and Jodi is we have to head over to... hey, Jen is on there. We're going to have to get to Boot Barn. I need Jen. Thanks. Jen told me what to wear, by the way, for the last night of our gala.
She helped you out with what to wear.
She hooked me up with what to wear. But we have to head over to Boot Barn in the next day or two because I got to get that hat. Well, not tomorrow, maybe Sunday. But I need some boots and I need some, I need a hat. I need a cowboy hat. Got to have one.
How are you going to fit that cowboy hat on the plane?
I'm not. I'm going to wear it. I'm going to wear it. Hell yeah. I'm going to wear it. I got myself a Dallas Cowboys t-shirt. I've got hats, boots. The only thing about the boots and the TSA, that's going to be kind of hard.
Yeah, because you have to pull off boots. It means that you're going to slow up the entire line. You're going to be that person unless you have the TSA pre.
I don't have TSA pre. Maybe I could.
Pre.
No TSA. I don't travel that much.
I know.
So we're going basically Dallas to New York, Malibu, and Liz, and then New York back to Vegas. I do have to get a return ticket back to Vegas.
Yeah, because you do want to come home eventually, right?
Yeah, I do. I haven't gotten a ticket
Just
back.
making sure.
Anyway, yes.
Just
And
making sure
Dana's
that was
here.
gonna happen.
Dana, you better come to Texas. That's all I have to say.
You got to come to Texas.
Dana Carlisle,
Dana's
you better
gonna
bring
come to
your
Texas.
little skinny little butt over to Texas. That's all I have to say.
Hey, South Dakota's in the house. Jason Yucino.
Oh my God, Jason! Where's
What's happening? We
Where's
got
baby
people from all over the
Yoshino?
place.
I want to see baby Yoshino. He has to make an appearance. Have you seen Jason's son? He's really cute.
I have not seen him, no.
Oh my God, he's adorable. You got to see him on Snapchat. And by the way, I am on Snapchat, and you could see me dancing around like a Latina. But enough. We got so much to go on. First of all, how many people? The first thing I want to talk about is that storm yesterday. Oh my God, how many
for
people
Vegas,
saw
it was serious. If you guys watched, follow us on Facebook, you saw Jodi doing her news report from out in the water and getting splashed by passing cars. Yes, she did that. She went out in the pouring rain and hail and with an umbrella that belongs to one of our photographers and decided to do a news report. Of course, forgetting the fact that we weren't running a real camera. We were filming it on her iPhone and we had no wireless mic, so we couldn't hear what she was saying. All we knew is she was out standing in the middle of the street screaming something. And that's all that the neighbors or the people in the other offices knew, there was a crazy lady standing out in the rain screaming nonsensical stuff with a yellow umbrella so that the passing vehicles knew what to splash as they drove by.
They aimed for me. Let me just say it this way. When you're doing a news report in a flash flood, do not wear flip-flops.
Oh my goodness.
That's all I have to say. Oh, and another thing you shouldn't do with flip-flops on, run the stairs, the rocky stairs in flip-flops and a purse. I did.
That's a whole. There's a video on YouTube, our YouTube channel of that too. Because yes, the day that we decided to run the rocky stairs
in Philly,
Genius here decided to wear flip flops. Yeah. So that was fun.
You can't win them all.
Yeah, that's right.
But so anyway, the storm was crazy yesterday.
Yeah, we had places that got 1.5 inches of rain in about an hour. Which is a lot for Vegas. Vegas, as you know, only gets about 3 or 4 inches of rain in the entire year. So that's quite a lot of rain for us. And we had hail. Yeah. And it was all coming down at once. The street, we're like, I mean, you understand, it doesn't rain here, so we get excited when we see wet stuff outside. If it's not the Bellagio fountain show, it's actually coming from the sky. It's to us, it's kind of unusual. If you're guys from the South, you're like, we see that crap all the time.
Oh my God! All the New Yorker people were like, really?
All the New Yorkers
like, really? Like it doesn't rain?
If you're from Florida, you're going, okay, really? This is exciting you? Yeah.
You know, some guy said, oh, we survived Hurricane Sandy, and you just got like an hour's worth of rain.
Yeah.
Which
we weren't comparing it to Hurricane Sandy.
Weren't.
It was just exciting compared to what we normally get, which is 3% humidity in the summertime. So, yeah, it was pretty exciting to watch, and got to deal with. I don't have to water my lawn for a couple days, so that's
we don't
good.
Have to do that. Yep,
that's absolutely. A positive.
And poor Bob got stuck. Our friend Bob was visiting, and he got stuck.
Poor Bob took a trip to Oatman that wound up being a 500-mile trip. But anyway, that's a whole other issue.
Looking forward to seeing you too, baby.
Oh, that's right.
Trevor's on. Mr. Fabulous is on.
Mr. Fabulous is here.
Mr. Fab. What's up, Trevor? This is bad because, people are like, we're talking or like going back and forth.
I know, because if you're listening on SoundCloud, you're like, what are they responding to?
I know. We gotta regroup. Okay.
Yeah.
We gotta regroup.
That's okay.
So the storm was pretty exciting. People are like, why are you freaking out, Las Vegas? We get rain in New York and New Jersey and Connecticut all the time. We get it. Yeah.
But we don't get it here. We're the desert, so it's exciting for us. Mm-hmm. It's like if it was 116 in Jersey, you'd be like, whoa, what happened? So,
hey, listen, we have to sit through all your snow videos.
Exactly.
Come on, dude.
Look, we're never going to be able to make a refrigerator out of the snow piled in front of our front door higher than the front door. We're never going to be able to do that, okay? We don't get that opportunity. So this is our only opportunity to have a weather-related event, because you can't just go outside and say it's hot. Well, we take a picture of the car thermometer every time.
No, a lot of people
look, it's
do
116. That. We do that all the time, but that's not nearly as exciting.
On Snapchat.
It's not nearly exciting as water pouring down and
Glenn
hail.
Is on there. Hi, Glenn.
Hail coming down and doing all the other stuff. I mean, that was exciting for us.
Yeah, it was. No, it absolutely was. So let's get into it. One of the topics that I wanted to bring up today was we have a lot of our friends in the wedding business on here, so this is a great topic. There was a gentleman yesterday who wrote an article, and actually it was the talk of, a lot of the TV talk shows brought this up.
They picked it up, yeah.
Picked it up. It's kids inviting children to a wedding reception. It sparked a lot of controversy. Pat and I,
Because basically his stated opinion was that if you don't invite kids, you're going to regret it. That they are the best thing ever. They start the party. They make it exciting.
What
and
wedding
it was
is he
basically,
at?
yeah, I don't know what wedding he's ever gone to, but that it was the best thing in the world. And, we have clients that are like that they're like, no, a wedding isn't a wedding without kids. And being that I know some of our other wedding professionals that have been there, saw that same article, that if you've done a wedding with a bunch of kids, every once in a while you get good kids that will go out there and dance and have a good time and won't be crazy.
Yep.
That's every once in a while. The vast majority of the time is we have a bunch of kids running around screaming, running across the dance floor during the first dance, taking out the photographer, knocking over tables.
Oh my God.
Because for some reason, parents, when they get to a wedding, decide that they no longer have to watch their children for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. But for some reason, they decide we don't need to watch our children. And the kids run all over the place and they're crying and they're screaming because kids don't have fun at weddings. They just not. They need. Kids like to play. They like to run around. They like to throw stuff. They want to. They want to do what kids do. Well, a wedding is not a kids' event, and we've seen some really.
Oh my gosh! Although I do have to say, in Las Vegas destination weddings, we don't see as many kids.
Yeah, we don't see the
when
masses
we were
in LA.
In LA, like the old Carson Center. Oh, like, don't hold it against us. We actually DJ'd in Carson, California,
that's right.
and we did like a few weddings there. When a guy wore a T-shirt with a bullet hole going through his happy face, and that was his wedding attire, I told my boss, because we didn't own a company at the time, I'm like, never book us at the Carson Event Center again.
Yeah.
But the point being is that we saw a lot more kids when we were DJing locals.
When it's locals, yeah.
And I think destination people, there might be a few kids at a party, but honestly, they're so well behaved. The ones that I've seen.
We've had, when it's one or two kids, you don't have as many issues because there's like 20 people to babysit them in a sense. But like the one at the Carson Center, for instance, we had 20 kids sliding across the dance floor during the first dance.
The father-daughter dance.
Almost took out the bride a couple times, and we literally had to make an announcement. If these are your kids, can you please remove them from the dance floor area? So, Lamar, not here. You don't have that problem. You don't have kids in Alabama.
Chris is there.
Chris gets it. He says it's so weird that the kids act like kids even at weddings. Yeah, they don't know it. They don't care that it's a wedding. That's playtime for them. That's just like they're in their living room. They want to run around and scream and play with toys and act up and do what they do.
By the way, Pat, Chris is doing this while he's in the meth car wash.
In the meth car wash. That's right.
He's in the meth car wash.
He's in the meth car wash. That's right. So nice.
I'm just saying, it's called meth.
I don't know why. I feel like I have to get my car washed 3 times a day. I'm not sure why.
I don't know why. I don't know.
My life savings has been spent at the car wash.
What was the dude? Dave Chappelle?
Dave Chappelle, yeah.
But back to the kid thing. Kids. Kathy Lee had a really good. He's laughing. Kathy Lee had a really good point. She was talking about her wedding when she married Frank Gifford, and her nephew at the time was 3 years old, and now he's a lot older. And she teases him, saying that he almost ruined her wedding because he was just running all over the place, and Kathy and Frank were trying to do the dance. So, here's my feeling. I think that, there's nothing cuter. And I wish we would have had kids in our wedding. There's nothing more cute than having that little flower girl or that ring bearer. I mean, our friends right now watching us, there are some adorable kids.
Oh, absolutely.
Baby Yoshino is adorable. Glenn and Jen have 2 sons. They're adorable. Oh my God, I can only imagine them walking down the aisle with, the pillow and stuff. I mean,
they just aren't going to make a 4 or 5 hour reception and not go, crazy.
How about this? How many times have you done the grand entrance and, they're like, we're going to introduce the ring bearer and the flower girl.
The ring bearers,
how many times do they actually ever make it in for a grand? Never.
Somebody has to come grab them.
Somebody is always holding
and that's kind of cute sometimes, but I think the big thing is that, they can make it through that they can make it through the food. But after that, they just don't care. We've often suggested to people, if you have a bunch of kids, put out a table with like stuff for them to do with puzzles and toys and have somebody there to watch them, because again, parents are not responsible at weddings. They just
and the kids
forget
are bored.
about the kids.
They don't want it. They want to go upstairs in the hotel and watch cartoons or whatever kids watch. Malibu and I, we were watching Little Rascals. What can I tell you? And Charlene. we would watch The Little Rascals. But yeah, it's and the other thing that really bugs me a little bit, and I shouldn't say bugs me, but it does bug me, is when the bride and groom have children. Like many of our clients already have kids and they bring them to the wedding. Sometimes I feel so sorry for the couples because I feel that the bride and groom, never really get an opportunity to enjoy their day because the little one wants the attention, and they're clingy and they're crying, and things like the first dance get cut short because the kids are like pulling on mommy and daddy's gown, and grandma and grandpa aren't there, and it's just so overwhelming for them. So I say keep them at the ceremony. Take them upstairs, find a babysitter if you're at a destination wedding. Seriously, save the money. What's he saying?
I think Chris just put a link to a car wash up there.
That's the meth car wash.
Breaking Bad.
That is the meth car wash. I'm telling you.
I'm sorry. It's like ADD with this thing on. We can't pay attention. The SoundCloud people are like, what is going on? Because
Malibu, we got to go to the meth car wash.
We're reading some of these comments. I look down, I see this comments. There's a link to a meth car wash.
A meth car wash.
So if anybody's on, they could click that link and they could go down
in Arizona. Oh my God. My car wash.
Yay.
I got a bunch of Mexicans watching my car. They do a nice job, but I want to go to the meth car wash.
I think we want to go to the meth car wash just to watch everybody. That should be interesting.
Go to the meth car wash. Hey, listen, Chris is getting his money's worth. That's all I have to say. He bought a vest. He bought a pass to the meth car wash, and he's getting his money's worth.
That's right. That's right.
We're never doing this again.
It's just so distracting. Anyway, that's okay. It's fun. It's fun.
All right. So
anyway,
but that's our feelings on the wedding thing. If you have feelings about it, share it with us.
We've only done a few thousand of them. So yeah, let us know. I mean, I'm sure there's always going to be positive stories about stuff like this, but honestly, we've seen a lot of the reality of it.
You know what I try to do with the little kids? I try to bring them something. Like if I know there's going to be kids at a wedding, I'll spend the money and get those disco sticks, the ones that we get from, Sherman.
Yeah.
So, I'll get them, or rings, or I'll find something to keep the kids occupied. But so I want to let you guys know I didn't do much show prep today because I was channeling my inner Latina for tomorrow night.
Yeah, she was dancing in the office.
I was Snapchat. You can find me on Snapchat. Definitely Jodi HBK. Yeah. But anyway, Pat is responsible for a lot of the show content today. So let's see what he has for us. Well, I couldn't
help. One of our favorite artists. Do they not sense the sarcasm? Hopefully they do. Chris Brown is in trouble once again.
No.
It says here, Chris Brown is once again in the crosshairs of cops, but this one is weird. And although it's kind of expected, it's not. I'm not surprised. Chris rented a villa in Ibiza for the last week in June.
Did he take a pill in Ibiza?
Yeah, right.
Pill in Ibiza.
And the landlord went to the police and accused Chris of trashing the house. According to the police report obtained by TMZ, shockingly TMZ, Chris or someone in his crew either threw knives at the wall or carved them. So basically, there's a bunch of stab marks in the wall. The alleged damages get worse. The landlord said someone peed the bed.
Ooh, gross!
And there was vomit everywhere.
Sounds like
this was some party. This was some party.
I don't know about you, but it sounds like a weekend in the Hamptons.
This sounds like one hell of a party so far.
Sounds like my Hamptons house, 1986. The surfing bird. Malibu,
they weren't
thumbs
messing around.
up, Malibu.
Look, because everybody hanging out with us got to be in their 20s, early 30s. If you're getting so messed up that you're peeing the bed and vomiting everywhere, there's some serious partying going on. But they said as for why the cops got involved, according to the report, Chris was supposed to be out hours ago and wouldn't leave, so the landlord got police to help him give him the boot. The landlord said Chris also was on the hook for $26,000 in rent and damages for around that add up to around $60,000. And a source close to Chris said that the rent issue has been resolved and it was a banking issue on the landlord's end, of course. But so it's going to be an expensive
Lamar wants
weekend.
to know, does anybody even listen to Chris Brown anymore? Actually, no. No, he does. He has some good stuff. I've played a few Chris Brown songs.
He just keeps getting in trouble, and people keep
just don't get into a relationship with him. That's if you're a female or male. Don't get into a relationship with Chris Brown.
No.
Did you know, Pat? Not to change the subject, but it's still Chris Brown related. That Kanye, your favorite, Kanye did this brand new. I don't know if you people on Facebook Live or check it out, but Kanye did a brand new video, and it's like this artistic thing where he takes a lot of our top trending celebrities and he put them in a bed. So they're not the real, they're wax dummies or they're impersonators. Tribute artists, but impersonators, and they're all like sleeping in a bed together. And it's Kim and Kanye with Taylor Swift. Chris Brown is actually laying next to Rihanna. Donald Trump is in this thing. It's crazy. They got George W. Bush in it. It's the weirdest, sickest thing I've ever seen in my life. You got to check it out. He says it's artistic, but I don't believe it.
For him, in order to keep his genius status, and for the SoundCloud people, I just did the air quotes, he has to do things that are just completely off the beaten path and weird and unusual, and then call him artistic. I just think he's a weirdo who doesn't know when to shut the hell up.
I don't like, I got to be honest with you. I mean, I don't like any. Somebody tell me, help me out. Is there like one really good Kanye song out there? I don't know what happened to the guy. I don't know. He's just strange.
Yeah, I would have to say that's correct.
I'm a DJ / MC event planner. So if I have to play, his music, I do. I would never, Lamar, that's somebody I don't want to listen to.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
So, anyway, and I see you have a Prince story.
I do, because it's been a big thing with these celebrities that all the way back from Elvis, and there was probably lots more that went through the same thing. That their doctors basically were their drug dealers, and for years they never got away with it. Michael Jackson's doctor was probably the first to get into any trouble. Well, apparently the Prince criminal death investigation is in high gear. Yes, criminal death investigation.
Wow.
The authorities are scrutinizing 2 doctors. Law enforcement sources told TMZ. You could tell where I got my news today because the CNN stuff was a lot heavier. Anyway, our sources say that authorities are taking a hard look at Prince's primary physician, Dr. Michael Schulenberg, and renowned addiction specialist, Dr. Howard Cornfield. So an addiction specialist that was keeping his patient addicted. That's interesting. To determine either of them crossed the legal line by writing prescriptions to Prince or otherwise facilitating the singer's acquisition of the meds. We're told that the 3 agencies are deep in the investigation, the FBI and DEA and the Carver County District Attorney's Office. Now, on May 10th, they had executed a search warrant on his property, on Prince's property, to search the property. And one of the accusations is that the feds were also looking into, where is it here, is the son of the addiction specialist, Andrew Kornfeld, was at Prince's home when he died, and he was and he also said that he had brought a backpack full of synthetic opiates, that he had transported it from another state.
So what is synthetic opiates? Do you know?
It's basically synthetic, meaning it's not grown, it's not from opium, it's not from poppies or whatever. It's actually just synthetic. It's made in a lab, just like there's a lot of.
And is it supposed to help you alleviate your pain?
It's a drug to help with pain, but just like anything else.
Is it like weed?
It's closer to heroin than weed, but it's supposed to help with pain, but it's very highly addictive. It's kind of like there's been a lot of celebrities in recent history that have been addicted to different opiates. Opiates are it's basically what heroin is based on, and it becomes very addictive. So you have doctors here now that are implicated.
Well, anytime, Elvis, look what happened to Elvis and his doctor, it's just sad. We see a lot of on Reels, the autopsy show, those Reels. I don't know if any of you guys out there ever see it, but it's a really cool thing. It's on the Reel network, and they do the last hours of Michael Jackson, the last hours of Natalie Wood, the last hours of, whoever. And it's very, very interesting. And what happens a lot of times is that in these last hours, these celebrities have all this medication inside of them. It's usually because because they're addicted to these things, to these drugs. They should be going to the meth car wash instead of
That's
taking
right.
the real
They
meth.
should, Chris. They should be going to the meth car wash. Yeah. And Chris misses the old. What's the old Kanye? When was he ever not an asshole?
Before, no, he's right. He was when his mother was alive.
When his mother was alive.
When his mother was alive, and by the way, they also did a show on her. The autopsy show was on Donata West.
Yeah,
about what happened to her when she died. Kind of like a Joan Rivers thing, where she went in for. Who the freak goes in?
A tummy tuck, yeah.
No, it was plastic surgery. Some sort of plastic. Or was it tummy tuck?
Tummy tuck, yeah.
Who goes into somebody's like
outpatient? That's kind of common now.
Wow,
that's common.
Well, look what happened to your ankle.
Yeah. When I had my little ankle procedure that was outpatient, and they didn't get much done, but they managed to get the thing to bleed for a half an hour.
Oh my God! Pat had this like surgery done in a doctor's office, and they thought they knew what they were doing, and they didn't. And when I told my mother about the story, she's like, "Didn't he see what happened to Joan Rivers?" You never do that in a doctor's office. I agree. Yeah. I happen to agree. I thought it was a little weird, but what do I know? I'm just the wife.
Not much. Anyway,
I'm just the wife.
That's
anyway,
true.
But yeah, so what's going to happen now? So they're investigating Prince's doctors.
So it says, as for the two doctors, Kornfeld is still actively practicing in Marin County, but Dr. Schulenberg has been missing from his med clinic since Prince died in April. So it's basically, and the thing is that the one doctor was actually at his house with the backpack loaded with synthetic opiates when he died, and he said he was just there to check on Prince.
Well, don't you remember who's the most famous doctor that was with a celebrity when he died? Dr. Conrad Murray.
Yeah.
And look what happened to his ass.
Oh, yeah.
He got thrown in jail. He was in the house when Michael died.
I think he was the first to ever get, finally, because I think, let's face it, he's not the first to pull this.
He's trying to say that Michael Jackson injected himself with the drugs.
Yeah, but Michael Jackson probably didn't feed himself for the last 20 years. He did very little for himself.
Look at Prince, though. Look at Prince. Prince was skin and bones. Prince was at the Walgreens getting prescription drugs.
Yeah.
Prince. Like, where are your people? Prince. He was there.
Meth is so much better at the car wash.
Yes, it is.
Right.
It is.
Every time I look up, there's some silly comment I'm reading. This is a little distracting. I was like,
was it Larry? What was the?
Gosh, what
Larry
was
the junkie on?
No, that
was Ashy Larry.
That was Ashy Larry was something else.
Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle played. Can you remember what can anybody tell me what the name of the character that Dave Chappelle played that was the crack addict?
It was the heroin crack addict.
Yeah, he was
always scratching himself.
I talk like this.
I love Dave Chappelle. I wish
my goodness.
Too bad he's crazier than us.
So, and it says that the sources say that the state's charges are filed, that the case will not go to the grand jury. The DA will make the decision.
Somebody's going to jail.
Yeah.
Someone's going to jail. All right.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
You kind of hinted at me when I was channeling my inner Selena. That you found a story about one of my favorite people.
Oh, yeah.
One of my favorite shows, and it's not Dallas. What's he saying there? It's not Dallas. My favorite show in all of the world is Dallas.
They made up words to Dallas.
We made words.
If you're wondering why you've never heard that.
But they all know the Dallas song.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have another favorite show, and I'm sure a lot of you women are with me. It's The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
The real ones.
The Real Housewives. Not the fake ones, but the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Pat has kind of hinted at this story. He's been smiling all day about it. What happened now? Who's in trouble? Which one?
Well, I don't know that she's in trouble, more her restaurant, but Lisa Vanderpump's restaurant is being sued by a customer who claimed that their garnish messed him up something fierce. That's the term, right? That's what they said, that their garnish messed him up something fierce. I think that's an official legal term, but I'm not sure. John Santos claims in a new lawsuit that he was chowing down. Boy, they use a lot of
I love
slang
that.
and
Like
TMZ. Chowing down. The guy, whoever wrote this, was like 18 or something. On calamari at the pump.
Calamari
At the Pump
thumbs
restaurant
up.
in Weehoo. Where's Weehoo? Woohoo!
Love the Real Housewives. You bet, Trevor. I bet you do. I love them too.
Where's this Weehoo restaurant? Where's the restaurant? Where's Weehoo?
Weehoo.
It says her calamari at Pump in Weehoo. Wherever the Weehoo.
There is no anybody. Weehoo?
Where's Weehoo? They said in the story that the restaurant is in Weehoo.
California, West Hollywood. It's in West Hollywood.
I know.
West
anyway,
Hollywood.
West Hollywood. Okay, West Hollywood.
West Hollywood.
They have to use really.
What
You
do
got to
they
say
call
you
it?
can't write out
Weehoo?
West Hollywood.
West
you have
Hollywood.
to shorten West Hollywood. You can't just write freaking West Hollywood. It's an article. You got to say Weehoo. What the hell?
Oh my God,
I wanna
Eric
slap
likes
whoever
to-
wrote. I want to slap whoever wrote this. Anyway.
Eric, you like the Real Housewives? Who's your favorite? Tell me.
So-
on Facebook Live, shout out who's your favorite housewife. Go. Okay, go ahead. Read the
Anyway,
story.
so apparently John was chowing down on some calamari when he felt a sharp pain in his mouth. Santos says he realized in short order he was chomping on shards of glass.
Oh, please.
And it's
Somebody's looking for a free
I don't
lunch.
know. I don't know. It's kind of hard to fake chewing on shards of glass.
Somebody's looking for a free lunch.
And it didn't take long for blood to ooze from his mouth.
Oh, I love the words
John-
that this person's using.
I know.
Ooze. It's like the Brady Bunch with the volcano.
Ooze. Santos says that his medical bills from urgent care, it says are gunning. He's gunning for more than $25,000 for medical bills, and I'm sure it'll be more than that. Lisa's hubby Ken Todd tells us that they serve 500 meals a day, and nothing like this has ever happened. Of course it hasn't. How often are you going to get glass in food?
First of all,
Ken seems suspicious.
Yes, Ken has every
seems
right.
suspicious. Santos came into the restaurant asking for a king's ransom. Ken adds a pump has an A rating. So, obviously the husband is thinking that this might be some sort of scam. It might be a long way to go for $25,000. That's not a lot of money. And of course, it doesn't happen that often. How often do they make the mistake where they have shards of glass in the food?
When you have a restaurant, and anybody who's worked in the restaurant industry knows that people will do
fake stuff all the time.
Fake stuff
yeah,
all the time. I mean, I found this in my food. Come on, remember the lady found a finger in her chili?
Yeah.
Come on, finger in the chili?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, but then they found out that the finger was something that she had gotten from like her husband's. Somebody lost a finger at a construction site, and she took it. But
let me
it's
take
like,
this finger.
wait, you lost your finger. You're not going to put that back on,
I'm going to
are
wear
you?
it around my neck.
You're not going to. You don't need that anymore,
need
right?
that finger, do you?
I'm just going to put it in some chili. Don't worry about it. I'm just going to put it in some chili.
Some chili.
It's going to be delish.
Oh my God!
Gonna make some money.
It's finger looking good.
Finger licking. I'll buy you some new gloves if you give it to me.
It's finger looking good.
My goodness.
Oh my God! But people do that. Like you go
So
to a famous restaurant. People do pull that crap all the time.
It could be legit. He could be just some scam artist.
It's not legit.
And that's and here's the problem.
Remember the story? There was a dead mouse in a Subway salad.
Yeah.
And they showed
an entire dead mouse that they wouldn't notice that when they take the ingredients
lettuce
out by hand and paste it by hand into the sandwich, they wouldn't know that they grabbed a freaking mouse. So some of this stuff you're just like, really?
Yeah,
It's like the person. I mean, it's the oldest scam in the world. You grab some cockroaches, you throw them in your soup. Oh, there's cockroaches
I would
in my
never
soup.
ever grab a cockroach. Just
No, that's
tell
true. You could never pull that scam because you would never grab a cockroach, a finger.
No.
You would never cut your
I'm
mouth up
lucky I
with
could
shards.
grab a fork.
That's true. She's like, yeah, no, I'm just going to pay
I'm a
for the meal.
messy eater.
I'm just going to pay for the meal. I don't care about the rest of that stuff.
No. All right, so Pat,
Yes.
I've got something for you.
What do you got?
And if anybody is out there who's watching this, hey, Smitty's here. Smitty, we got to get you on the show.
I know, Smitty. We need
you're
to get
my next guest.
We need
Come
Smitty on
Smitty.
Staying Up with Pat and Jodi.
Everybody say Smitty on Staying Up with Pat and Jodi next show, next week. We want you, Smitty.
We want Smitty
Smitty would make a great
next to
guest.
us,
By
right
the way,
here.
if you guys don't know him, he's amazing. He has a boxing show called In This Corner, and it's great.
We've been producing that now for 13 years, I think.
Yeah,
13
and
years.
we're all getting excited for. Smitty probably doesn't comment too much on this, right?
The UFC. He's not too excited about the UFC, but
Brock
Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar is coming back.
So we do have the Nevada
Is that this
Boxing
weekend?
Hall of Fame. No, it's coming up at the end of July.
Okay.
And Smitty is being inducted into the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame.
Thumbs up
So
for
that's
Smitty.
a great honor. He's already been in the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame. And we're trying to get him into the big one, the national one,
Oh, that's
because
good.
that would be, I think that
All
would
right.
be an awesome. So anyway,
everybody who's watching Staying Up with
we just
Pat and Jody,
completely changed.
we're bringing Smitty in.
We're bringing Smitty in,
him
whether he likes it or
hopefully
not.
next week or the week after. So stay tuned. You got to meet Smitty, but like his Facebook page and find In This Corner. You guys are going to
Yes.
love Smitty. Okay, so now back to our regularly scheduled show.
program. Yes.
All right, Game of Thrones.
Oh boy. Oh, we got to go
Game
there.
of Thrones. If you love Game of Thrones, throw us up a like, people, because we're going to talk about the season finale of
my
Game
goodness.
of Thrones. It's awesome. Awesome Game of Thrones. So, Pat, revenge is sweet. Cersei, Queen Cersei, she's the queen again. Holy! By the way, if you didn't see the Game of Thrones, then
Just cut it here because we're going to be having spoilers.
I'm going to tell you right now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cersei. Oh my God, Pat.
So
where do we start?
First off,
so much.
We start the season with her in a dungeon being abused and feeling sorry for somebody that we really kind of hated.
Well, it was she did her walk of shame.
Yeah, that was the season
finale of last
so that was
year.
the end of last season.
We did feel. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm so excited about.
So
Game
she
of
was
Thrones.
the villain for so long, just the evil sister or whatever else. Always tried to kill Peter Dinklage and who we love because he loves horrors and we appreciate that about him.
And he loves to drink wine.
And he loves to drink wine.
And he's funny.
And he's funny. He's probably my favorite character on the show.
So, yeah.
But either way, she gets abused, and it really was because of her own doing that she got brought in by the Sparrow. So now as you're watching her that she's going to get her revenge because she's not going to let this stand. But we did not realize that the revenge would be this sweet or this
best.
Oh.
So poor Cersei.
She took after her
Poor
father.
Cersei hated her son's wife. Because the wife was just like her and she was conniving and she wanted to get her out of the picture. I'm giving you the Reader's Digest version of Game of Thrones. And Cersei decided she knew that the Queen Marjorie, her daughter-in-law, she knew that her daughter-in-law covered for her brother. Who was secretly gay. Right. And back then you couldn't be gay. Like that was a no. So they brought the brother to trial and they asked him, did you do this? And he lied and he said, no, I didn't have sex with this guy. I'm straight. Well, they bring the partner out that he had sex with and all hell broke loose. And Marjorie's brother gets thrown in the clink for being a gay man, back in the day. Well, Marjorie goes to court because she's in contempt of court, and they throw her ass in the clink. So now Marjorie's in the jail, her brother's in jail, but it gets better. The High Sparrow found out that Queen Cersei was banging her brother, Jaime Lannister.
Yeah, and that she'd had sex with and also that she had one of the sex with one of the guys who's now part of the
Sparrows. Oh, was that dude?
Yeah, that was she. She had sex with him. Yes. So she gets thrown in.
So she gets thrown in the clink too. So now we've got Queen Marjorie, Cersei, who's the big queen, and the gay brother to Queen Marjorie in the clink. Well, Cersei, they're trying to get her to confess that she was this big, ugly, evil woman, and all she said to her was, confess, 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 confess.
And beat her,
the whole
abused
bit.
her, and then they had her do. She finally convinced them that she was
guilty.
She confessed to some things.
Confessed
to some things, not everything. And then, of course, they had her do her walk of shame, where they basically had her walk naked through the entire city as cut her hair poorly, and then had her walk through the city and throw feces on her. Well, let's fast forward now because a lot of other things have happened. And now, all of a sudden, the Sparrow is going to bring her to trial, bring Marjorie to trial, bring the brother to trial. Well, now she doesn't show up for the trial. And Queen Cersei doesn't allow the son, who is the king, to show up to the trial either.
She brings her Frankenstein.
She brings her Frankenstein to go, no, you're not going
Okay,
anywhere.
now
Who's
for
the mountain?
Yeah, and for those who don't know, the mountain gets killed, and then her evil Dr. Frankenstein brings this mountain guy back to life, and we call him Frankenstein. I mean, he's big. He doesn't even speak. He's just,
Just
big.
a big dude who likes smashing people's faces.
Yeah.
So
He kind of looks like Braun Strowman
as
on
all this-
WWE.
as all this is happening,
Or
then
Kane.
Marjorie's brother decides to admit to everything, to basically, he's going to
change.
He's going to change. He's
Denounce his
name, his post, everything. Well, Marjorie's next, and he's going, and she's even saying to the Sparrow, "This isn't right. If she knew what the consequences of her not showing up, why would she not show up? Something's not right. We need to leave." And she tried to get everybody to get going, to get out of there. And he's like, "No, no, no, no." The Sparrow's like, "No, no." And towards the end, he almost looked like he was convinced, but
Yeah, for a second, I thought the Sparrow was
I
going to
love
leave.
the fact that they tricked I think it was the guy that she had sex with, to chase after that little kid.
Oh, yeah.
And into the basement below where the temple was. And if you remember the episode of where they had to protect the castle, where they burned up all the ships with and I forget what they call it. It looks like it's like a
Looked like green slime.
yeah,
but it was like kerosene.
yeah,
Like
it's basically like napalm, but wildfire or something like that. The whole bottom underneath was packed with this wildfire, which is, by the way, the Mad King, who is the Queen of Dragons' father. That's how he was going to blow up the city when he was about to lose it.
Oh, got it.
He was to have all this stuff below. So this whole idea was already there.
So she knew that the stuff was underneath there, which was pretty cool.
So he gets chased down there. The little kid that he's chasing runs up
talking Game of
behind him,
Thrones.
stabs him in the leg, right? Stabs him in the leg so he can't go, and he sees a candle sitting in the middle of this wildfire,
And he
getting
tries
ready to blow
it
it, and he
out.
tries to get there to blow it out and doesn't make it, and everybody
Kaboom!
in the temple blows up.
Love it.
Marjorie,
Especially sparrows.
the sparrow, all the sparrows'
just went
followers.
like, and the little, as she would say, the little sparrows.
Oh, the little sparrows,
Oh,
and
his little
blows the whole thing up.
sparrows.
And of course, she's out there, out the window, watching it happen. The only person that didn't die, that she brought in later, was the tall woman that abused her.
Yeah. Wow,
And-
she had plans. She has plans.
And
for
she
her.
had her tied
shame,
down.
Shame.
Started pouring wine instead of water over her face.
That was great.
And basically said, "Do you remember what I told you, that I would be the last person that you saw before you died?" And she said, "Yeah, I'm ready to die." She goes, "Oh, no, you're not going to die for a long time." And that's when she opened the door, and the
mountain.
woman found out who her new husband was, and that was the mountain. They didn't show anything, but he basically takes off his helmet and goes, "All right, let's do this."
Let's do it.
So,
he's
and
a
look,
mountain of a man.
Lots of other great storylines
Oh my
with
gosh.
Jon Snow
Oh
and
my
everything
God.
else, but it's a little too much to get into on one show. Otherwise, we'd have to do the whole show on this.
We'd have to do a Game of Thrones like
But
show.
I think one of our favorite parts of this was just how revenge was served.
I love it. Loved it. And I would, like you said, we always like, oh, that queen, she's going to get hers. We hated her. Like,
Yeah.
earlier, not this season, but last season, we hated her because she was evil. She was an evil queen. And then they end the show with
Now,
her sitting on the Iron Throne,
which
and her
everybody's going
brother-
after.
And her brother.
Walking in on it, Jamie walking in on it going, "Oh no, what did you do?"
Yep.
And of course, now Jon Snow is in charge of the North, and they may be joining forces. The Ironborn may be joining forces with Daenerys Stormborn, which is the Queen of Dragons. So there's all of these
And-
different groups that are getting together. The people from Dorne are also going to be joining in on
great.
this. So they're building up to a huge battle.
But we didn't see any White Walkers. in
Haven't
the
seen the White
season
Walkers
finale.
yet. That's right, and they're a big part of it. So
Yeah.
I know everybody who doesn't watch
We
Game
like
of
lost
Thrones,
some people.
We lost.
They're
They're
like,
like
we
Game
lost,
of Thrones.
like, the Game of Thrones. Forget it was more
kind of like
fun.
Mike Walter. Mike Walter's like
Mike
Game
Walter
of
is
Thrones. Yeah, we
done.
talk wrestling. Oh, I'm done.
Forget wrestling.
You
We'll lose
know,
everybody.
we'll-
We'll keep Eric. That's the
we'll
only
keep
person
Eric will
we'll
be
keep.
the only
Eric will be the
person.
only one there, because he looks like. And Shelly's there. I can't wait to spend 4th of July with Shelly.
That's right.
Shelley,
They're gonna be partying while I work,
red, white, and boom.
and boom.
Red, white, and boom.
Well, by the way, Shelley, we had an entire 20-minute audio clip playing, that we're going to be playing 4th of July, playing in the office yesterday. And so they got to listen to 20 minutes of patriotic music in the office, making sure that the clip worked. It was kind of funny. And I think you actually did a Snapchat.
We did a Snapchat, yeah. By the way, again on Snapchat, Jodi HBK. Heartbreak Kid.
Yeah,
Jodi
it's
HBK.
An old handle of hers.
I know, but I don't want to change it because if I change it, then I'm going to lose people.
That's true. That's
so
true.
what do we have? CEO Fun would be a better handle.
It would be a better
But I
handle.
don't want to switch it because if I switch it, then I'm going to lose everybody.
I know.
So, and plus, I'm planning to do a Snapchat takeover in July.
In July.
When I'm in Dallas.
It's July now.
If anybody from Dallas is still watching, they were on earlier, I'm planning to do a Snapchat takeover. I'm really brave. I am going to give my password and my Snapchat name to my friends that are going to be in Dallas with me. And Joe Hecht is going to be there.
That's right. Joey Hecht is going to be there.
There's a party. Like Joe Hecht, man, he's the party guy.
You want a party, you bring Joey Hecht with you.
Joey Hecht with you, man. Did you know that Joe Hecht's brother-in-law is like Greg Evigan?
I know.
Oh my God, I love Greg Evigan. Loved him. BJ and the Bear.
BJ and the Bear.
Oh my God, a year at the top. I mean, I go way back on the Greg Evigan. Don't get me started trivia. Oh my God, KC is on board. What's up? But yes, don't get me started about Greg Evigan because oh my God, Joe, make it happen. Make it happen.
So just bring him to Dallas.
You know who looks like Greg Evigan a lot?
Who?
Rush.
Does he? Okay.
I think Gary looks a lot like Greg Evigan.
Okay.
Evigan.
All right. I don't see it, but okay.
Anyway. So that's the plan. So what else do we have for them? Because now KC is on, so we got to be, he's going to be.
I don't want to talk about like Bangladesh and all the other stuff because we were talking like fantasy TV shows, and I don't want to get into hardcore news because by the time half the people watch this, it's going to be over and it's kind of depressing, and it's just, we'll talk about some of this stuff on the next episode.
On the next episode of Staying Up with Pat and Jodi. Hopefully on the next episode of Staying Up with Pat and Jodi, we can get Smitty on board.
I know. We got to get Smitty on.
We'd love to get Smitty on board. We have a friend in town. His name is Bob. We were going to have him on. We've had Leo on board.
Leo, that's right.
Leo was great. Was a great guest. So, I mean, that's...
Looking forward to grabbing Smitty and getting him over here.
Yep. And looking forward to the 4th of July. Hope you guys have a lot of fun on July 4th.
I think that KC is more obsessed with bathroom selfies than you are because that's all he ever talks about.
I'm so trying to get Casey in the bathroom, but it's not for a selfie.
No.
Ka-ching!
That's just wrong.
And I'm sitting next to my husband.
Shh. Actually, she's going to lock you in a stall and leave you there is what she's going to do. She's just going to click. See you later.
Okay, where is he? We can't find him. Hey. You know who I'm surprised?
You better take a selfie. That's your only way out.
That's right. Good one. He got you on that one. I wasn't thinking about that, but he got you. He's never going to trust me. I tried.
Oh, he would never trust you. He says, never going to happen. Yeah, we know that you would never trust her on that.
You never trust me.
So it's still funny to think of that, though. It's a great scenario to consider.
Yes, it is. Now, if Eva Marie from the WWE or Charlotte got into a bathroom with Casey, I would guarantee that he would definitely stop and take a selfie with one of them.
I think so. Right before security came to take him out, that would be, saying, "What are you doing in the women's restroom with this wrestler who's married?"
This wrestler. They're both married.
They're both married. Yes, they are.
Yep, absolutely. All right. So anyway, that's I don't have any. I mean, I really didn't prepare. Like I said, I was really busy getting my inner Latina.
This was a great little experiment we tried this time. The show's still going to be on SoundCloud and still going to be on YouTube. So you'll be able to watch the full version on SoundCloud and YouTube. But we wanted to be able to do a Facebook Live version.
And we did the whole show. We did the whole show. We were only going to do a portion of the show.
But we did the whole thing. And we're going to try a YouTube Live version probably in a couple of weeks. So we'll let you guys all know so you can actually watch the widescreen version. Because right now we're a little cut off here. See, we got to get in close. So, but we're actually going to try and do a YouTube Live version coming up here fairly soon.
Sorry.
I don't know why she's flexing on camera.
I can make my pecs move up and down.
All I got to say is if they're listening on SoundCloud, they've lost 2/3 of the show. They have no idea what's going on.
SoundCloud
If you're listening on SoundCloud, just go to YouTube. Really, just
Mike
go to
Walter
YouTube.
is probably listening on SoundCloud.
Yes, he is. And
But
he's like,
we lost him.
He's like, what? Yeah, we lost him like
at Game of
3.5
Thrones.
minutes in. I think we lost him. Yeah,
Exactly. Wouldn't be a show without Mike.
Exactly. But we appreciate everybody
Yes,
tuning in
thank
on
you,
Facebook
everybody.
Live. Thanks for hanging out with us. Everybody watching us on YouTube, listening on SoundCloud. If you like the show, send us money. No, just kidding.
No, don't send us money.
Actually, no, that would be nice. No, really, send money. Anyway, but if you can't, just like the show.
Send us your
comment,
firstborn.
give us a thumbs up. Yeah, no, I do not want firstborn, secondborn, thirdborn.
I just want
don't
tickets
want
to
anyborn.
WrestleMania. Somebody out there, please.
Yeah, tickets to WrestleMania we'll take, but
Yeah,
that's
we'll take Game of Thrones. We'll take Walking Dead. Oh my God, we got to go to that Walking Dead thing next time we go to Universal. We got to
that's
check
right.
that out. They just opened up that new. That new.
And we have the zombie apocalypse store that we can go to here.
Yes, we do.
But
So,
thanks again
anyway.
for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody, no matter where you're watching us from. And we will see you hopefully next time with James Smith, Smitty, from In This Corner TV.
We called him out.
We're calling him out.
We're
Smitty.
calling him out.
We're
Smitty.
going to drag you in here. We're sending somebody over the house.
Oh, and follow us. Follow us on
follow
our
us.
Twitter, Facebook, all that social media
Follow,
stuff. And
subscribe, everything.
Snapchat. Find me on Snapchat. We do some really fun snaps.
Yes.
Malibu.
Crazy snaps is probably a better term. No. Look, see.
Crazy snaps.
Crazy snaps.
All right, we're going. So now you're going to see what happens when the cameras go off.
You get to see what I do after the show is over. And so do you, because I'm going to go turn off both cameras, you and you.
And I just sit here. And talk about where we're going to go eat after we do the show and getting a cowboy hat and reading some great comments. And we're out.